This is on the news, the weekend edition. And on the broadcast tonight, the opposition leader calls for police officers to be placed in public schools. Plus, the education minister gives an update of school repairs on those hurricane-ravaged islands. And then later on, the tourism ministry undergoes restructuring.
Our news is brought to you by LLOYD.
Good evening, I'm Andrew Knowles, and thanks so much for joining us. The opposition leader is calling for the government to implement more drastic safety measures in public schools. According to Philip Brave Davis, the lives of teachers and students are at risk due to a few bad apples. Giorgio Bain tells us more.
Opposition leader Philip Davis said he finds it deplorable that more safety measures have not been taken to prevent acts of violence on public school campuses. Davis said given the amount of incidents that have occurred during and after school hours, he would have expected the ministers of national security and education to step up security on and around schools.
It's lamentable that we are seeing this escalation of violence in our schools. And it is rather strange and surprising for us to think about police in our schools, because schools are supposed to be a safe and environment for learning and teaching what I call lifelong skills, which would include how we live with one another. And so the last place you would be expecting to be having to protect against violence, against persons, against one another, is in the school.
According to Davis, despite the heavy criticism the PLP received for placing armed police officers in schools, he stands by that decision.
During our term, we addressed it by having police officers on the scene, at the schools, in the schools. There's a lot of outcry about that. And I guess because of this, the very thing I speak about, that is the last place you would be expecting this kind of, this antisocial behavior where persons are so violent towards one another. But at the end of the day, this is where our society is today.
The opposition leader said it would appear as though the government has not come to grips with what's happening in schools.
It does not appear that the government has come to grips with the fact that we need to break the back of the cycle of violence in schools. And the only way you're going to do it is to have law enforcement officers present. The presence of the officers will at least be a deterrent to the activity. And that is the one factor that they need to take into account.
For our News Weekend Edition, I'm Giorgio Bain.
Meantime, Education Minister Jeffrey LLOYD says massive repairs underway at schools severely damaged by Hurricane Dorian are expected to be completed by March. Berthany McDormand reports.
Nearly 5 months after Hurricane Dorian devastated Abaco and Grand Bahama, severely damaging or destroying schools and displacing thousands of students, the Education Minister says construction will begin in the coming days. He added that he expects works on schools in Abaco to be completed by March.
We're looking at Central Abaco Primary probably being finished by somewhere around March. Certainly Cooperstown by the end of February, SG Boodle around the end of February. We are pushing for that. Now Patrick Bethel, because of the nature of that school and its damage, we're going to be certainly ready for September, no question.
According to a report by the Inter-American Development Bank, Hurricane Dorian caused $72 million in damages to schools in the Bahamas. 45 educational facilities experienced varying levels of damage. 7 schools were destroyed. LLOYD says the ministry is looking at alternative facilities while construction is underway. Additionally, he says work on the Hugh Campbell Primary School in Grand Bahama is set to begin.
We are also beginning within about a few days the Central Abaco Primary, and we are looking to see if we can secure some temporary buildings so that we could begin classes there while the construction is underway. Hugh Campbell is another school that is very important to us, and its roof needs to be repaired. In fact, it needs to be replaced, and we are going to get started on that right away.
Lloyd added that works will be carried out under the Ministry of Disaster Preparedness Management and Reconstruction.
The Ministry of Reconstruction is taking over the construction of those schools and making sure that everything is restored under the auspices and the ambit of the Ministry of Education. We're looking forward to some great work, and work can commence right away, well ahead of us having to wait for any summertime repairs.
Reporting for our news, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Following calls by union leaders to increase minimum wage in December, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis announced that minimum wage paid to government workers will be elevated. Minister of Labour Dion Fowlkes announced that the issue is now before the Tripartite Council.
We have placed the whole question of minimum wage and a proposed increase in minimum wage as a substantive issue before the National Tripartite Council. As you know, the council is a statutory body that comprises of the business community, namely the chamber, the unions in the country, and also the government. It's an issue that's now being actively discussed. It's formally on the agenda. A recommendation will be made by the council at some point. When that recommendation comes forward, it'll come to me, and then I'll take it to Cabinet for a final conclusion.
Fowlkes could not say when he expects the results to be in from the council, but he did say that the matter will be taken to Cabinet upon its completion.
It was formally placed last week, Thursday, before the Tripartite Council. I don't know how long it'll take for them to. I know the Chamber has appointed some persons who are looking at some proposals, and the trade union movement have to get back. So I really cannot put a time frame on it.
Well, a social media post pegging the cost of those temporary domes on Abaco at $900 per unit is false and extremely misleading. The Disaster Reconstruction Authority issuing a statement today refuting the fake news story, which suggests the authority overspent or misinformed the public on the real dome cost. Well, the authority confirmed that $6.4 million was budgeted for the domes, with an estimated $4 million committed to costs. That $4 million includes the purchase of 250 domes, the preparation of the land for the domes, along with the installation equipment and installation of infrastructure and operation of the Family Relief Center. The statement adds that the inter-shelter domes purchased have been structurally and field tested and are designed to withstand hurricane force winds of 200+ miles per hour. These domes are used by the U.S. Army, Navy, Marines, and Air Force. The authority says it is irresponsible of anyone to suggest that the authority would purchase cheap, untested domes that cannot stand up to the country's conditions. Bahamians are urged to get their news and information from responsible news sources. The temporary domes are free of charge for those displaced by Dorian. And we will take our break here, but we'll be back with the tourism minister talking about the restructuring exercise at his ministry.
Check. So all you've been doing on this court was traveling. When you see me travel to go watch my free NBA pass game, I can come back hard and smoke it. Spicy.
Free NBA pass.
You know what we have doing? Each month they send a lucky customer on an all-expense-paid trip to the States to watch a game. And even if you don't win that, you could have a local experience because they can pay for all your food and drinks and participate in bars, so you still have a good time, bro.
I can get in on that.
All you have to do is sign up for Trio and you enter the drawing. That don't lie.
Don't get denied like this guy. Make sure you come through in the clutch. Sign up for Trio and be a Rev NBA All-Star. Guarantee your chance to win a free trip to an NBA game every month when you sign up for Trio today. Call 601-8992. Terms and conditions apply. Rev, you and us together.
The Ministry of Tourism has engaged in a restructuring process, according to Tourism Minister Dionisio Diagler. This after a manpower audit revealed that some 90% of resignations were persons under the age of 30, and only 8% of the staff was under the age of 30. As a result, the ministry has embarked on an aggressive employment exercise for young people.
Well, I think last year we employed 25 to 30 young people, and then we have to think about how we keep them engaged, how we keep them interested, how we give them interesting tasks to do. And so we've restructured the ministry in terms of we made it more of a pyramid format, whereas before it was everybody was a manager. There were lots of chiefs and no Indians.
Diagler stressed the importance of his ministry and employing the best and brightest Bahamians.
That is complete. We got a great team at the top, dynamic, motivated. It's our core industry. It's our, in my opinion, of course, being the Minister of Tourism, the most important ministry, because it is the ministry that generates revenue so that there is sufficient money for education, healthcare, national security, sports, youth, and the like. So it's very important that we have the best and brightest Bahamians, and we recruit them and retain them so that they can go out and generate business for the Bahamas. Tourism is our #1 industry.
Up next, a noted attorney slams the Prime Minister's weed pledge as a PR stunt. So stay with us.
Business in the Box is your solution for business from Cable Bahamas. It's an internet, voice, mobile, and advertising solution all in one place. Get reliable internet, free domestic call, and a live corporate package, and free TV ad placement, all starting with packages as low as $164 a month. You can save over $3,000 a year. Just call 601-8911. That's 601-8911. And ask for Business in a Box from Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to our news, the weekend edition. Attorney Wayne MUNROE is slamming a pledge by Dr. Hubert Minnis to free all persons in prison for possession of small amounts of marijuana. MUNROE echoed sentiments expressed by opposition leader Philip Davis, who described the move as a PR stunt.
That should be a very easy task. I don't know that there's anyone in jail for simple possession of a small quantity of marijuana. There are people in prison for possession with intent to supply marijuana. But the classic penalty for simple possession of a small quantity of any drug as a user, including cocaine, is a conditional discharge. The law sees you as a victim, as somebody in need of help. And so you get a conditional discharge on the condition that you seek drug treatment. If you successfully complete drug treatment, you get an absolute discharge, so you don't have a conviction at all.
During a rally launching his re-election campaign on Wednesday night, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis called on senior officers at the Bahamas Department of Corrections to get ready to free our young people. Meanwhile, though MUNROE questioned whether Minnis's planned move would have much an impact.
The fact that it's not serious, it's not considered as serious as it once was, is witnessed by the fact that if you went for a visa and you told the U.S. that you had a drug conviction for simple possession, if you bought the transcript and they show that you were a user who successfully completed the sentence, they generally grant you a visa.
When our news, the weekend edition, comes back from the break, we introduce you to a new initiative geared towards reducing childhood obesity. So stay with us.
Check. So all you've been doing on this court was traveling. When you see me travel to go watch my free NBA pass game, I can come back harder, smoke it, spicy.
Free NBA pass.
You know what we're doing? Each month they send a lucky customer on an all-expense-paid trip to the States to watch a game. And even if you don't win that, you could have a local experience because they can pay for all your food and drinks and participate in bars, so you still can have a good time, bro.
I could get in on that.
All you have to do is sign up for Trio and you enter the drawing. That don't lie.
denied like this guy, make sure you come through in the clutch. Sign up for TRIO and be a Rev NBA All-Star. Guarantee your chance to win a free trip to an NBA game every month when you sign up for TRIO today. Call 601-8992. Terms and conditions apply. Rev, you and us together.
The risk factor for non-communicable diseases in children that are of serious concern in the Bahamas are poor nutrition and physical inactivity. As a result, the Ministry of Education is partnering with the Ministry of Health, AML Foods, and the Healthy Bahamas Coalition to launch the physical activity segment for the Let's Move initiative reducing childhood obesity. The partnership visited the Stephen Dillard Primary School this week. Twins NATOYA and Nakara Patterson, health education officers from the Health Education Division of the Ministry of Health, spoke to the students about the importance of staying away from unhealthy foods.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about nutrition, okay? So nutrition, when you think about nutrition, what do you think about? Food, right? Healthy foods. Okay, so the foods that you eat today will affect your health when you grow up to be a young man or young woman. Okay, so if you eat a lot of sugary foods, do you think that's good for your health? No, it's not. So stay away from all those sugary drinks, those sugary cereals.
According to the 2013 Global-Based Health Survey in the Bahamas, 6 in 10 children between the ages of 13 to 15 were overweight or obese. 84% did not get enough exercise, and only 16.6% usually ate fruits and vegetables 5 or more times per day. Without intervention, these risk factors will continue to adversely impact the health of young people, challenge their academic achievements, and later in life can impact their future employment outcomes, workplace productivity, and socioeconomic status.
A healthy diet will help you to stay focused in class. It can help your grades to get better because you remember more. It can help you to stay healthy so you don't have to stay home and miss school. And of course, that's going to make sure that you grow up to be a healthy young man and young woman. Okay, is that what you want? Yes, it is.
The Healthy Bahamas Coalition's goal is to deliver health talks and activities on health-related children's rights to school-aged children.